Here we go, boys. Let's go back in the raid. Sol Badguy, he's finally a 6-star. I'm gonna talk about that grind in a second. So, yeah, I'm gonna go for Devourer, Arahakan, and Vera. I prefer to do it that way. It's more efficient in term of morale usage to take different paths. Like, it would be like Devourer, Arahakan, and then Julie V Council would be better than going twice in the same direction on the same run. But I'm running a team of plus 40 camping morale. So this team that I'm using now, you use Sad Memory on Sol Badguy for 21 and Advice on Dizzy for 19. Really, I mean, yeah, it's really solid in terms of morale. The downside is that, well, you need DN for this particular group composition, and she's limited. I'll be making videos with another composition, which is Dizzy, Sol Badguy, Akatis, and Lots. So I'm gonna be 6-starring Lots soon enough. And I do have the fathers already. I'm just working on finishing up the things in the Guilty Gear collaboration event, which is gonna end in 24 hours from this video as I'm recording. And yeah, I still have a lot of grinding to do on my main and my second account, but I'll make it happen. And challenge as well, I need to get extra copies of the artifact. Man, that thing is about to end, and I can't pass up on these things. So there's Molagora. There's 2 Molagora seeds in the hard tournament. I was going from the right side toward the middle, and someone pointed out in the comment section that there's a Molagora seed on the left side in hard. So I went and checked it, and yeah, it's there. So I gotta get enough tournament currency to grab that, because I mean, that's a Molagora seed. Let me turn off my skills here. The issue with this team that I'm using now is that there's no defense down debuff. You can bring the second Guardian along, but it gets resisted a lot, and it requires a ton of souls to actually pop this Guardian. It's the most expensive Guardian to use. I believe it's like 80 souls to actually summon him, and yeah, that's unfortunate. If you want to deal as much damage as possible, the first Guardian is the way to go. Arcasis, Archie, because when you use them, it gives a 20% crit chance buff and a 20% attack buff for 2 turns, on top of dealing damage based on the target's max health and also based on your team's attack. I don't have the exact numbers with me, but it does require the least amount of souls. But damage per soul usage, Guardian 1 is king there. But if you can manage to land those defense down debuff with that second Guardian, that could be quite interesting. So there's that. The what is it again? The artifact on mages that drops like a random debuff, which I forgot the name, but that thing cannot land defense down debuff if the tooltip is accurate, which is unfortunate. I'm going in there. I have enough morale. If I camp here, I would have gotten more morale than you're allowed to in raids, which is 70. That's the cap. So I'm not gonna do it now. I'm gonna do it after Devourer Arahakan. I mean, this battle is easy. Just kill the ads and then attack Devourer Arahakan when he's not immune anymore. When he uses Corrupted Web, when whenever these 2 ads are dead, whenever Devourer Arahakan's gonna go, he's gonna use Corrupted Web, and then you're able to land the debuffs on him, which can speed up the battle. Yeah, it definitely speeds up the battle because he's taking greatly reduced damage right now. So like, it doesn't do much. I have Junkyard Dog artifact on Sol Badguy right now. God, he's so slow. There we go. Now we have been able to be debuff right after the counter attack here. Unfortunately, this counter attack happens before he loses the immunity, and also before he loses the very high damage reduction that he has. Using barrier here to clear up the I have attack buff already anyways, doesn't really matter. Applied it anyways. Let's go for, this is no resist, but we don't really care about that. The 6th awakening on Sol is 8% crit chance. That's going to be very welcome for him. He's only at 84% crit chance right now. I have all the materials ready. I triple S him. That's really cool. Actually, no, it's fine. It's fine. The positioning in the raid is fine. You should put your squishiest heroes. Well, I mean, the front position. You're definitely not gonna put a squishy hero there, but let's just pop the Guardian here. But the top position, you can you definitely want to put your squishiest hero in there besides Sol Badguy, because I mean, his memory imprint is defense percentage, and you cannot be granted the memory imprint of the own hero, unfortunately, in this game. So yeah, you'll have your tank in front and put whoever is well, whoever has the least amount of survival at the top position. So with these debuffs, do I need to heal up? Well, Celestine comes to the rescue. Is he immune? No, he's not. No, he's gonna pop that thing. Wait a second. He's gonna go in that phase soon enough. Something's off with this one. I guess I was just talking through it, but he switched phase and all that stuff, so let's just deal damage and be done with that thing. I'm able to be debuff. Quite annoying. DNZ is pretty worthless in here. Like, no joke. You need to apply the attack buff before. If you're struggling, the barrier you can keep for removing the speed down debuff, but you can also apply it if you need that extra survival. The thing is, you don't want to blow up the ads while you're facing Devourer when you can actually deal more damage and when you can land debuffs, because he's just gonna use Corrupted Web as soon as he gets out of that phase. He's gonna be back in it again, and you're gonna have that cannot be buff debuff all over again, and you won't have time to, let's say, if you're relying on buffs or barriers or continuous healing, that's gonna mess up your stuff. Just because he's slow. It's just he should be dying here. He's got the burn as well. Alright, there we go. So we can teleport here. And actually we can camp here. Let's do that. So sad memory on Sol. And advice on Dizzy. 21 and 19. Now Vera, real quick. Can't wait to have Sol as level 60 and test his damage out some more. But I mean, it's mostly his damage based on targets max out. That's, yeah, I'm not gonna do that again and turn on the skills right now. Yeah, the portion that deals damage based on targets max out on his skill 2 passive and on skill 3, that's huge. You get a bunch of crit chance. When you land a critical hit, it's gonna, that damage is gonna get multiplied by your crit damage. And also you want as much speed as possible, so you can just cycle through his, I mean, he can get as many turns as possible, of course, and which is in turn going to increase his damage output during the course of, well, whatever you're doing. Dizzy, still a super tanky build for arena defense. I got Tagahil's Ancient Book, Tagahil's Ancient Book, whatever it's called. Pronouncer. Yeah, I need so many artifact charms and just artifacts, fathers, 1-star, 2-stars. To get that thing to plus 30, that's gonna take forever. So that's like a side project for now. But I got them from the powder shop. Should be quite interesting to go skill 3 into skill 2 with her. Not sure how I'll build her. Probably, of course, high effectiveness. I could like go crazy speed on her, or I could go offensive build. You can blow up whole teams with skill 3 into skill 2 if she's got the stats. You just need to use combat readiness boosters. If you put like a ton of speed on her, well, you're not gonna have the offensive stats to blow up the enemy team. But still, if you have the speed, you go first. That is a lot of debuffs. It's heavily crippling them if they don't have immunity sets. I mean, the combination of skill 3 and skill 2 is definitely a game changer. Yeah, I mean, you don't even need that much damage. Just the combination of both, if like it's already gonna be a ton, then you can easily have the rest of your team going. You might mess up the turn order of the enemy team because some of the 50% combat readiness reduction on that skill 2 might be resisted on some heroes, especially earth heroes, which you are at elemental disadvantage against. You always have 50% chance of missing these that element as ice. I mean, but yeah, if you can mess up their turn order, that's quite good. That's really good actually. And if they have the debuffs applied on them, it's pretty much GG. You're crippling them too much unless you got unlucky and those debuffs didn't land on their damage dealers. But anyways, you're gonna push their combat readiness, and then you're gonna have your team going before them, hopefully before their damage dealers. But even if they go, they're so crippled that like they won't be able to knock you out. Yeah, it is very, very strong. Dizzy is just an amazing addition to the game. I hope you guys got her. I hope you got Sol Badguy. I mean, at least one copy, at the very least, from the questing. That's 32 quests that pretty much would have been done anyways. If you don't want to grind using your energy, I guess you can just not go for the extra copies, but that's not a good move. You should go for them. He's so good. He's so good. Just ridiculous amount of damage at Golem. I mean, even the raid, whatever, wherever you are fighting with him, he just brings that damage. And the utility on him as well. Just amazing. That skill 3 of his is really game changing. Remove all buffs and then apply enable to be buff debuff. That is huge. And then it deals a ton of damage, also damage based on the target's max health. that passive silencing, dealing damage based on the target's max health. Just really cool stuff. A really cool character as well. Dizzy's Ice, Soul is Fire. Another major plus there. But in this team, I really like the synergy of Akatis with Dian. I know Dian, not everyone has her, but really like Akatis is just solid. Akatis is so solid. Man, I will eventually do a video of like doing selective summons. Man, I mean, I'm not planning to do it for a while actually. Probably in, yeah, for I have it planned in, let's say, 2 months, something like that. I'll be doing like selective summons again. I'll have a third account. It doesn't matter to me. It doesn't matter when I start. Like it's not a rush. It's just I want to try out different things. What I'm planning is Vildred selective summon. Vildred could be fun, especially like Vildred Angelica. That's nuts, but that's not gonna happen. I can't pull that. I definitely can't pull that. That is just too good, too hard to obtain. Imagine something like Ken and Akatis from selective summon. That would be completely nuts. Just destroy Golem so early on. But these are like dream pulls on selective summons. I'm planning to just go Vildred and like just farm Banshee and Azima Sheik's Hunt. I mean Azima not Hunt, Azima Sheik. Queen Azuma Sheik. Let's get confused there. Oh my god, let's turn off the skills. Always have Akatis with Celestine healing up. My god, really? All it took for Raz to start running? Just turning off skills? That's sad. Having some issues with my internet lately. Yeah, this attack down debuff from Akatis is a big deal. Really a big deal. Angelica does have a lot of healing output and that immunity is all good, but if you don't soul burn, it's only 2 turns, and I mean you need to make her quite speedy to have her like have a high uptime on that immunity across your team. Akatis just like really early on, even with bad gear. I mean, she already shines quite a lot. S3, skill 3, just like removing debuffs and then dropping that big heal. That's extremely powerful. And you don't need to have like attack buff everywhere, and I mean defense down is definitely super advantageous to have. But it's like sometimes you just, yeah, you won't have both. Having one is definitely nice. Having any is definitely gonna slow down your runs, but it depends. It depends. Maybe you're trading off like offensive power for defensive, more survival. Because if you bring debuffs like attack down debuff, decrease hit chance, it's definitely allowing your team to well, sustain whatever damage they're gonna throw at you, and this attack down debuff is cutting their target's attack in half, which is allowing your healers to sustain your team so much easily. Let's turn off skill. I mean, turn off the auto here. I don't know what the situation was on health, but anyways, I popped one. Going in there, still pretty healthy in terms of morale. I'll be clearing toward the queen after this. That's usually how I go about it. It works just fine. Now let's go for that. That is, yeah. Soul needs to be used, so I'll be using the Guardian soon enough. I mean, Vera is easy. Vera is easy. I could just, yeah, just soul burn this here, whatever. No big deal. Soul will destroy Vera. That's not an issue. These eggs are of the light element. Vera's earth until she goes into the cocoon. No defense down, so yeah, definitely not as much damage. I mean, roughly, when you land defense down debuff, that you're roughly doubling your damage output. Let's try to get attack down debuff again. Yeah, 2 turns. No skill ups on her on this account. On my second account, I have her at 444, and it's really good. Really good. I mean, you can go 403 for her as a build, and you'll do just fine. I just went 444 because I got her from Selective Summon, and that was what I went for. I went Akatis, Kiris for farming Golem early on, and that worked. But really, if I compare account number 1 versus account number 2, speed really makes this game so much easier. I mean, super helpful in PvP. If you go first, that's a huge deal. Until you start hitting very tanky group compositions, then that's a different. Yeah, it's different league then. Right now, when you hit Challenger 2, that's pretty much what happens. Challenger 2 going into Challenger 1. There's so many tank group compositions now. It's pretty ridiculous. Since the introduction of ML Bell in the game, a lot of players have been switching their defense for something that's like a round 2 team. That means you're just tanking round 1. Turn 2 team. They're tanking turn 1 from like speed cleave teams and just surviving it, then sustaining their team, healing up, disrupting the enemy team, and they're starting to take the team apart and killing heroes one by one, things like that. Or you're just straight up surviving their damage and letting the arena damage kill them, which is a bit like how my defense actually works. It's doing good, but people with enough patience can just pull through though. I'm really playing on the whatever, it's just Public Guardian here. I'm just playing on the patience of the other players, really. It's like if they see my defense, they're like, oh hell no, I'm not going in there. That looks like it's gonna be a stall fest. It's gonna take forever to kill his heroes. Maybe I won't be able to pull through, and his arena damage is gonna start piling up and stack up and just get to that 3,000 per tick. That 3,000. I think that number actually crits as well. It's been a while since I hit that. Or actually, if with a hero you deal a critical hit, and the arena damage follows right after, the number will be like in yellow, but it didn't actually land as a critical hit. Man, look at these burn. This is all gonna be wiped off when she goes back into that other phase. Rip the debuffs. Look at these ads. Look how worthless they are. I mean, what's annoying about them is they land debuffs, I believe. It's been a while since I had to really deal with them. When you don't have enough damage, there might be a struggle here with the amount of AoE damage you're taking from Vera and the ads landing debuffs. I believe there's some silencing and that stuff like that. So if you don't have the damage, it can be rough. But I mean, if you keep on landing debuffs like attack down debuff on Vera, it's making the battle so much easier. If you break through the cocoon before it's too late, before the cocoon gets like 4 turns, I mean, you're good to go at that point. Vera will come back in a weakened state, Oh, poor Vera. Sorry. Taking a beating. Let's whatever, attack down debuff maybe? Nope. The odd is low. Okay. Just in case. Burn will, oh, too slow. Speed, like it's speed. I have a lot of tokens to get into hell mode that I will work toward very shortly. I just want to knock out these tickets before the patch notes come out. Never know, never know. I want to get these things out of the way, so I can do some content for whatever comes out from these patch notes. And also, yeah, for players that were wondering how these how this specific team composition works out in here, players have been who have been following my high morale teams in raid, or I mean whatever, raid labyrinth. Well, here's the information for you, or like the gameplay that you might be curious about. But really, like, that defense down is definitely would be much needed to speed up this thing. But I mean, you can just use up your Guardian. It's longer, it's safer though. It's Dizzy. If I had Dizzy with high damage, let's say, man, I would breeze through this thing in no time. But still, there's, well, I guess if you use Guardian 1, that's an attack buff, 20% attack buff. It's not 50, but let's pop the Guardian after her. Ooh, it's gonna be the end. Whatever. Maybe she would have went for that attack buff, but wait, what am I even saying? I have attack buff in that one. When I was talking about not having attack buff, good lord, I'm talking about the other group that I'm gonna run. Dizzy Sol, Akatis, and Lots. Man, I need some sleep. That's actually exactly what I'm gonna do after I close this video. God. But yeah, the other group that I want to run, there's no attack buff beside that first Guardian, that buff that I have right now. What is even its name? Archie's Blessing? Arcasis Blessing? No, it's something else. But yeah, 20% attack and 20% crit chance buff. It's pretty solid. The attack is quite low, but you've got that crit chance, which could be quite useful. If you only have like 85% crit chance on your heroes, let's say you are using them in hunts, various hunts where you're at elemental advantage and you're getting that 15% crit chance bonus. Yeah, I mean that 20% is gonna get you to 100 and helps you out in the raid. So that's the final one. Let's go Guardian. Oh, Dizzy? Oh, whatever. I'll just quickly show my gear after this. Guardian's Blessing. Wow. It's the Guardian's Blessing. Man, where are those... There's a feature that's not in the game yet about the Guardians. We can level them, like enhance them. It's just not there yet. One day we'll have that. One day we shall have that. In the group composition of Dizzy Sol, Akatis, and Lots, you actually go Sad Memory on Sol and Advice on Lots. It gives 38 morale. That's 2 less, but I mean, that is much more obtainable, of course. No, we're only talking Dizzy here. Sol, if you got your copy. Akatis and Lots, 4-star heroes, not too far-fetched to have those after a few months of playing the game. Alright, that's it. Let's get out of here, see how each hero's performance was like. I mean, Sol, yeah, Sol or Dizzy. Usually, oh, that's, yeah, that's good. That's really good. For item level 67, like, what is it? Like, health was max 7%, effectiveness 7% max, crit chance, I think it's 4, and crit damage might be 6. That's the max on item level 67. Very close to maximum. Yeah, I mean, that's not so hard to beat. And what is that? No. Item level's too low. Heroic only. Wow. That was so close. Dizzy would have beaten Sol if she took more damage. She actually dealt just a bit more. Not even built for damage. So could you imagine how much damage she would dish out if I actually built her for damage? Wow. Wow, wow. This weapon though. It's not item level 85, but my god, it has some pretty solid substats. Crit damage, speed, crit damage. I mean, it has many possibilities, but very solid still. The gear. Sol going up in CP as I level him up. He actually got some experience from the raid. I didn't check how much, but he did get some. So yeah, that memory imprint, pretty juicy stuff. Let's head toward Dizzy's skill ups and Catus. Yeah, I'm trying to get that -1 turn cooldown. And Dian. So the gear, I feel like Sol is quite solid. Like his stats, he's gonna get that extra survival soon enough. And he's performing, I mean, very, very well. Effectiveness is pretty high. You need 55% only. 55 is good. Because in PV, you're mostly fighting monsters that have 70% effect resistance or less. And you counter that by removing 15% out of that, because you cannot counter with effectiveness that 15%. So 70 minus 15, that's 55% effectiveness. That's what you need. PvP though is another ball game. You just get however much you think that the enemy has in effect resistance, and as you climb up in the ranks in PvP, the leagues, they start to have 100 effect resistance plus sometimes. So you need over 100% effectiveness. Like I'm talking like champion plus, even like challenger 2 and 1. They're starting to stack that effect resistance. But it's mostly going to be champion plus, so most players won't have to worry about that. So yeah, thanks for watching guys. I'm Astranox. Like, comment, subscribe for more. Press the bell icon for like to be notified whenever I release a new video. And check out my other videos. They should be showing up on the screen now. Playlists of all sort, arena guides, arena, guild wars, guides, tips and how-tos, and Abyss 462 plus. So check those out if you haven't before, and of course hit that subscribe button. How many days have I been free to play now? 196 days. Wow. Alright. Good luck with your rating and all that. Peace out for now.